10 o'clock now, and this is Fox 10 Talks. Yeah, we have seen it here on the streets of our city, protest, and the numbers grew pretty significantly as we got into the later in the day hours. You can see some of the images here. This is after a raid that hit a number of popular sports bars here in the Valley. That story is coming up. Good morning. I'm Ron Hoon, as I just mentioned. Never can introduce yourself too many times, though, right? Syleste will be here in about 2 minutes as well. And let's roll out the poll question. Here you go. The government may shut down, this is the federal government now, over arguments about ICE, DSH, or DHS funding. What do you think? 21% say good, shut it down until ICE gets its funds cut back. 72% say bad, no more government shutdowns over anything. 7% say, look, I favor cutting back funds for ICE, but I don't want to shut down. There's the QR code. Let us know what you think. I got a feeling we're going to get a lot of votes on this one. Of course, Dave will have some of your comments a little bit later today, but let's just talk about what went down in our city late in the day yesterday. There was an operation where ICE was, we've been watching what ICE has been doing around the country. DHS has not yet specifically told us if ICE was involved in this operation, but it did not take long for anti-ICE protesters to show up. Here's what actually was going on. The Homeland Security and several other agencies served a bunch of search warrants across the valley, 15 in all, at a popular sports bar chain, as I mentioned, called Zips. So it was posted on social media, and there was some video that got posted, and the raid, a lot of people could be seen being detained by federal authorities, and you can see how the protests just kind of continued to grow as the word spread. Now, as we continue to watch it, the the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Arizona confirmed in a statement that Homeland Security, in fact, primary investigative branch of ICE, was in the process of doing those federal search warrants later in the day yesterday, part of a criminal investigation, we're told, that might be linked to identity theft. So we are going to keep an eye on it this morning. It is certainly a major story here in the Valley today, and we will just continue to watch it as it unfolds. But again, now there's a lot going on today. Just came out that Kristi Noem was called to the White House yesterday for a meeting that lasted 2 hours. And then there were phone calls between the president and the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, well-known political figure for sure from his run for the vice presidency in 2024. So a lot going on that. It feels like there could be some changes coming, what with Tom Homan moving into the top spot now, overseeing the operations there in the Twin Cities. Let's get on to our other story this morning, which has to do with the light rail. This is really, I think, quite fascinating because the light rail continues to expand. You see development along all these corridors, and there is in the works now a plan to extend the light rail. If you've been anywhere in the downtown area, you know it comes right down the main boulevard there on Washington Street in front of City Hall, but will it get all the way over to the state capitol? We have an interview all set up for you right now. This is Marcus Coleman with the city. Hey, Marcus, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right. So let's see. Let's get right into it here for the vice presidency in 2024. So a lot going on that. It feels like there could. Are you hearing Marcus? Can you hear me okay? All right. Very good.
I can hear you fine now.
We had a little echo going on. Okay. So is the plan to move forward with this light rail extension between City Hall and all the way out to State Capitol? And what are some of the options? We'll get into maybe the politics of it in just a minute, but what is the current plan and what are the options on how to run that line?
So the current plan that the City of Phoenix team are working in conjunction with Valley Metro is is a capital extension. This is an extension that extends light rail from our downtown core through the Capitol Mall area, the Capitol District. That's something that was approved by our city council several years ago, and we've been working closely with those stakeholders along that alignment to identify a locally preferred route, locally preferred alternative or route for that section. However, what we have coming to our city council today for our policy meeting is some options of how our city council will make a determination of how we move forward with our investment in high capacity transit.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about what those three options are. As we say in our business, we're efforting some video here that might be a map that would show folks exactly. I guess I just assumed it was going to literally run right down Washington. But what are some of the actual options that are going to be considered?
Yes, and so today the council will have the opportunity to choose between two different options. The first option, which I will say option one has three subsets to that, is to pick a locally preferred alternative or route for the CapEx. Those three options are, one is called the 16 North option, which would have a single track on Washington and Jefferson to 4th Avenue. At 4th Avenue, the North track would take 4th Avenue south to Jefferson, and from Jefferson they would double track along Jefferson until they get to what is known as Cudahy, which is the 14th Avenue alignment, run north on Cudahy to Washington, take Washington through the Adams Curve, and then ultimately terminate at the 16th Avenue alignment there, right where the old ADOA state land building is. The other option is a 16 South option, which is very similar to the 16 North, with the single track on Washington and Jefferson to 4th Avenue, south on 4th Avenue to Jefferson, and then it will double track from 4th Avenue and Jefferson all the way to 16th Avenue in Jefferson, where it would turn south to Madison and then run west on Madison with the terminus around 17th to the 18th Avenue. And then the final option is a single track on Washington and Jefferson to 4th Avenue, where the north track would head south to Jefferson, double track on Jefferson to 7th Avenue, north on 7th Avenue to Van Buren, and then west on Van Buren to a terminus point around 17th Avenue. The other option that the council has before them is the option for them to take this time to look at reinvesting, doing a reevaluation and looking at reinvestment in high capacity transit and how that reaches the West Valley.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about that fourth option then. So at that point, then it would kind of slow the roll a little bit and take maybe a fresh look at some other areas that might or might not even include the Capitol complex?
That is absolutely correct. If they decide to move forward with an option two, that is really for a reevaluation, and that could or could not include the Capitol extension, the alignments that we've shown today. It could be different alignments that they look at. They could look at parameters even outside of that Capitol Mall area. Staff would be looking for council to give a clear directive of what that reevaluation would mean, and then we would work closely with our partners at MAG, our partners at ADOT, and also Valley Metro to put, some information around that, come back, do the evaluation, and then be able to come back to our council, hopefully, with what our recommendation for that process to move forward would look like.
How important is this to really make something like this available for people here in Phoenix? We saw, what it did for the East Valley. It's been a really important part of travel for a lot of folks, reaching out from East Mesa all the way west to where Metro Center is now. This is an important part, I think, for a lot of people who use it to get from one side of the valley to the other.
Yes, all of our rail extensions, these are things that have to go through a rigorous process. Not only does it involve making sure that we secure the funds from a local standpoint and from a federal standpoint, which needs to have voter participation and voter support, which we received. There's also a tremendous amount of pre-planning and planning that goes into this, really looking to the areas that have the demand. One of the things with these projects is that we have to work closely with our federal agencies and federal partners, because we receive a significant amount of funding from them. And the projects have to be competitive. And the way that we show that these are competitive projects is by showing the potential and propensity for ridership, and then also by showing the economic development impacts, and then cost, that ROI, what's the return of investment when you're putting these type of dollars of infrastructure into an area of need. They want to make sure that it's being utilized by the individuals it's intended for, and that it also has the ability to be that catalyst to really drive that economic development as well.
Okay, so what's the pushback from the legislature? My understanding is you have to get into politics, but what's the argument toward not moving it that direction?
And what I would say is we have legislators on both sides of the fence. We received several letters from legislators that state that they don't agree that light rail is an investment or a future that we should have here in Phoenix. It should not be expanded beyond where it is currently today. And we received letters from legislators that say that light rail is the future and that it's a necessary transportation option in providing ways for individuals to reach places like work, school, and places of worship. And that it's a needed transportation alternative that we have. So I would say you have people on both sides of the fence there.
And with 1 minute left here, is the ultimate game plan to get it way out into the West Valley to try to alleviate some of that traffic on the 10? Again, less than a minute, but go ahead, please.
Yes, with less than a minute, because I could go on and on forever about light rail and its benefits. But I will say the ultimate goal is to reach that Desert Sky Transit Center at 79th Avenue and Thomas. We feel like that is a hub that will really allow for us to have connectivity for multiple modes of transportation and really provide reliable transit service to those West Phoenix residents.
It's a really good point, I think, to make. And I think thank you for your time, by the way, this morning. I think it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can have you on again as the discussion continues, because I think we're going to be talking about, a lot of you remember when they built the light rail to the airport. Yeah. Well, it wasn't built to the airport at first. And eventually they made it happen. So I think there is a lot of conversation that has to be done first before they decide on something like this.
Marcus, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Marcus.
We hope to chat with you again.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, here's our mystery cam, everybody. Know where it is? Give us your guesses. Hey, you have found Fox 10 Talks. And if you're brand new, be sure to say hi in the friendliest chat on the internet. Celeste, I'm wondering if we're getting some guesses here. I think I'm seeing a few. We kind of cut it short going to the break, but here it is, everybody. Where is that snowy city?
So we have a few different guesses, Ron. Little Philosophy says Missouri.
Okay.
We have Darla Nicole says Canada border somewhere by the Great Lakes, so maybe like Michigan. Or Donovan says Seattle or Kentucky.
Okay.
Frankie D said Texas. B. Miguel says Missouri as well. What are you going to go with, Ron Hoon?
Well, I'm going to disqualify myself, Celeste.
Oh, because you know.
I already know I drove right through this city. I mean, I hate to even bring up such a tragic moment in our nation's history, but the plaza where JFK was shot is just out of the frame
Texas
of this. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I guess that sort of gave it away. But
so
anyway.
let me ask you this: that building to the right of that tower, what is that?
That's their own version of the Space Needle.
Oh, wow!
And next to it is a big fancy hotel.
Oh, how neat! That's pretty cool.
Okay, do you want to do the formal honors here?
Yeah, we'll do the formal honors. Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, but it does show you. You know, my niece lives out there.
Yeah,
and she does an aerobics class or something at one of the fancy hotels.
Wow.
She had to do it by Zoom yesterday. Everybody stay in your house. Do not leave. Do not get out of the
leg warmers and leotards, the whole thing.
Sure, you still had to dress up.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned, Ron. I remember if you guys have been to Dallas, Texas and visited that spot where JFK was assassinated, let us know in the chat. It is a very powerful moving
You're
space.
standing there at Dealey Plaza looking right up at the window where the shots were fired.
And on the street, there's an X that marks the spot. I was there for like a political conference, political reporting conference. This is 15 years ago. Sure. And we all went down, a group of us reporters, and we walked that area. And right in the middle of the street is the X. And it actually, some of the documentaries make it look like a much bigger grassy knoll area.
True, the grassy knoll.
But when you're there, it actually is quite compact, and you think, wow, as the president of the free world, he was driving in this convertible in this space filled with thousands of people.
And the other thing, I tell people this all the time, if you're ever in the Detroit area, the vehicle that he was riding in is at the Henry Ford Museum.
Oh, wow.
To me, it's the greatest museum in America.
Henry Ford.
And he was this great collector.
Yeah.
And they have a courthouse disassembled and reassembled on the grounds where Abraham Lincoln practiced law.
Wow.
Spoke before a judge in the 1840s.
Oh, my God.
What they have is incredible. They have the actual chair that Lincoln was sitting in Ford's Theater when he was shot by John Wilkes Booth, and the very vehicle.
Well, you said this is in Missouri
Kennedy.
again?
No, Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan.
At the Henry Ford Museum.
Henry Ford. Oh, Detroit.
Oh, my gosh.
So go there, learn a few things, and then you go hit up a Detroit pizza joint because, and Ron, I know you like Jets. That's a Detroit style pizza place.
No, I'm a Buddy's guy.
Oh, Buddy's.
Yeah.
There's a Jets also. Is that Detroit style? I think, yeah.
They're the two great Macy's and Gimbels.
Oh,
Jets
gotcha.
Buddy's, yeah.
There's I drove by one. There's on 16th Street and Bethany. There's a Jets there. But anyways, that's crazy. That image was in Dallas, Texas, of all places.
Hey, so let's talk just a little bit about what is going on with this. We've all known that there are some troubles with the Venezuelan gangs that managed to get in when we had the open borders policy a few years back. And I guess a bunch of these gang members got into the country. Now the process of trying to get them removed, you can tell, is going to be a big, long, and maybe even controversial process. Who knows? But the guy you just saw, Javier Arauzo Zuniga, was arrested for terrorizing people trying to live a quiet life in Hidden Valley, which is just south of Maricopa. Investigators say the guy, who also answers to the name of Pigface, claimed the neighborhood was his own territory and threatened all the neighbors in that area to get out. Some people said they were held at gunpoint. Another guy reported he was put in a headlock and cut with a knife by Pigface.
This is so crazy. I mean, look at some of the images here of like the sheds and things. I mean, you drive by neighborhoods or through cities in Arizona and you just have no idea what is going on.
That's such a good point. By the way, DPS did report their investigation revealed he has direct ties to a Venezuelan gang. He is now facing a bunch of different charges. And, it's called Hidden Valley.
Yeah.
People who live there, they want the quiet life. And you got a Venezuelan gang member named Pigface.
Yeah.
Who's threatening people, allegedly.
Crazy.
Innocent till proven guilty. But anyway. Wow.
What a crazy ordeal.
Yeah, no kidding. So, Syleste, when will be the next time that you think you're going to fly Southwest? You've flown Southwest a bunch.
A bunch,
right?
because they're very reasonable.
Yes.
For a long time, 2 bags were free.
Yeah.
It was like, I just got an ad this morning, $49, for a flight.
Really?
But then I
Over
looked
to
at
Cali or
yeah,
where?
I think it's it's only in the Southwest because.
Did you have to fly at 10 p.m. at night on a Tuesday? Come on.
No, but during spring break we are going to visit family in Florida, and in order to get back to the West Coast, you got 2 stops on Southwest, and you got to leave at 5 a.m.
Well, now that shocks me because we are I think we're like their second or third biggest hub.
Yeah.
Next to Love Field in
It's
Dallas.
so unfortunate, but here we are.
Okay, well, this is smart on their part. They know that people are, we don't like change.
No.
We human beings don't like change. It may work out to be great, especially if you didn't like the old system. I know a lot of people did. But if you want to know when you book your ticket a month ahead of time where you're going to be sitting, then you probably are going to like it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I guess in the past, if you had young kids, you were right kind of in that same pre-boarding area as people who had mobility issues.
Yes. Now
you still have to buy your ticket. You still have to say what seat you want to be in, or you'll board with everybody. If you try to go with the basic fare.
Well, even if you go with the basic fare, I was just looking online. You still you don't get to pick your seat. You don't get you board last.
Yeah.
And so you have to pay the extra sometimes. Like in this case, I think it was $40 to pick a seat and to board in another. But if you're traveling by yourself and you're okay with that, like it's fine. But I think if you are with a family, you want your kids with you. Well, actually, do you really want your kids with you?
Yeah, there's a new excuse. Kids, I was going to take you on this vacay, but actually, we got Aunt Mary who's going to come and watch you for a week.
I was actually thinking, hey, do you want to sit next to my kid? Here's their lunch. Hey. I packed it for the flight.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go to Gautam Narang, who is the co-founder and CEO of a company called Gatik. You may never have heard of him before, but this is really interesting. And this is a guy, basically, Syleste, who kind of looked into the future and said, this is a space we want to occupy.
Absolutely. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
All right. Tell us about your trucks.
So Gatik is in the business of autonomous freight. And today we are announcing that we are operating fully driverless, freight-only trucks with no safety driver, no safety observer in real commercial service. And this is happening across multiple markets in the U.S. On top of that, we're announcing that we have over $600 million in committed revenue from some of the largest companies in North America.
So we're looking at video right now of these huge trucks. I think the first few statements you made, I think may have alerted people in our group chat. And you can let us know in the chat what your thoughts are on this. You said no safety driver, but I'm guessing you've done some extreme testing on these vehicles.
That's right. So we have spent the last 8 years ensuring that the safety aspect of the technology is perfect, everything from our core software to how we have designed the truck itself, ensuring no single point of failure, and then how we are doing operations, moving goods from warehouses to retail stores. On top of that, mid last year, Gatik underwent the most rigorous and comprehensive safety assessment ever undertaken in the autonomous space. After we concluded that assessment is when we commenced our driver out operations.
All right, so give us some of the stats over the course of whatever, you give us the number, 1 million miles driven by your vehicles, et cetera. What was the actual rate of mishaps? I mean, was it 0.00, or surely you had a few instances?
So great question. So we have done millions of autonomous miles on public roads without any safety incident whatsoever.
Wow.
So Gatik has maintained a 100% safety record. Yes. And it speaks to how we have designed the technology and the partnership ecosystem that we have to enable the safe operations of these trucks. So just highlighting the fact, throughout the truck itself, there's no single point of failure. So what that means is everything from sensing to steering, braking, compute is redundant. So, if there is a primary failure, there's a backup compute or actuator always ready to take over control. And this is happening at scale in automotive grade fashion. We have the right partners to help us scale this technology.
So let's say, the truck arrives, leaves the warehouse, arrives to the retail store. It obviously the store then, a retail personnel then make their way to the truck, unload it. And then does the truck then make its way back to the warehouse, or are they on another route? How does that work? And do you have personnel, like with some of the other self-driving companies we've seen, there's somebody who's actually at a hub monitoring all of the locations?
Yeah, great question. So think of this as full logistics network where we are helping our customers move goods from their warehouses to multiple retail stores. And all of this is happening within a region with distances up to 400 miles. And the way we interact with our customers is through Gatik Omni. That's our fleet management system. Basically, we share exact ETAs. We help enable interactions between the human and the AVs. We also manage access to the boxes so that they can be loaded at the pickup location and unloaded at the drop-off location. It's a true seamless experience.
Only 30 seconds left. How many trucks will you have here in the Phoenix metro area? Obviously, we're one of your bigger markets.
So across all the markets, we have 10 driverless trucks revenue generating on public roads. In the coming weeks, that number will increase to 60. By the end of this year, we expect to have hundreds of trucks fully driverless on public roads.
So are you in Phoenix, yes or no, yet?
We are, yes. Phoenix is one of our big markets.
Yes, what I figured. Okay. Really interesting. I can't wait, Syleste, to read up more. Very much.
And by the way, folks in our chat, thank you so much for your time. They love your accent. Jennifer says, I love this guy's accent.
Go. Okay. Well, we'll come back and visit with you when you're at 1,000 trucks. How about that?
Oh, my goodness.
Sounds like the future's bright for Gatik for sure. Okay, break time, Syleste. Look, another snowy city.
Wow.
Come on, Dean. You're really giving us the beauty shots. We'll be right back. Hey, by the way, Brandy is on. Our super loyal. You guys are all super loyal. We so appreciate it. She says, this looks like Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Oh.
I got married there in 1994 and now am happily divorced. LOL.
By the way, I posted that picture, Ron, of Brandy. She made a visit to us. It was
Brandy,
very thoughtful.
So nice to meet you. And so, yeah, actually, we haven't been given the heads up here, but I'm going to just take Brandy's word for it that it's Las Vegas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say take her word for it that she's happy. I think she's probably.
For sure.
Oh.
Okay, so speaking of going other places, maybe, give it a few more days here and let these cities kind of thaw out a little bit. Maybe you want to go somewhere where you can see a little bit of snow once they get the roads cleared and life gets a little bit more back to normal.
Oh, yeah.
Or where do you want to go? To a beach somewhere? Well, this is the interview for you, Celeste. We have Lourdes from Sky Scanner.
Yes.
All set and ready to join us.
So, Lourdes, good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. We love this idea, especially because it's travel for less in 2026, which I think a lot of people are watching the bottom line. A lot of people are trying to figure out a cool spot to visit. And you said how to find round-trip flights for under $250. That sounds amazing.
What?
Yes. So at skyscanner.com, we have curated this list of the top 10 cheapest destinations from the U.S. And it's a good mix of domestic and international trips. So on the domestic side, the usual suspects. You have Las Vegas, Nevada, Miami, or Orlando with the cheapest fares, and sometimes as cheap as $28.
Wow.
So with a little bit of patience and flexibility, you can get to that. And
That's
then,
amazing.
On the international side, we see some of the destinations that are a little bit out of the top of the mind, like San Salvador in El Salvador. And then you have also the usual Cancun in Mexico or Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. And one of my personal favorites, Milan in Italy, with fares that average at $560, but with a little patience and the right tools, you can get that round trip for $151.
Oh my God! Really? Okay,
how does that work? The whole
do we
Sky
do
Scanner,
that?
your Sky Scanner technology. How does it
Yeah.
work? What happens?
Yeah, so what we do is we analyze thousands and millions of data entry points, and we have all the providers available there. So we have some tools that will help you get all those fares. Number one, if you don't know where to go, we have some tools like drops. So we can show you everything that has dropped on the past week for 20% or more in value. So if you are like me in Miami, Florida, you can go and see, okay, what are the drops for next week? And you can see that New York from Miami for next week, $80 round trip, for example. Or Denver, $80 as well, $86.
Okay, so New York to Florida is obviously a huge, people fly there a lot. How about out of Phoenix? What are 2 or 3 of the more popular spots coming out of our city?
I will recommend you to download the app and to search in skyscanner.com. I don't have that information right now, but if you go in there, you would see those drops as well. And for sure, you will find some interesting things if you have that flexibility also to travel whenever.
Oh, I see. I just pulled up your website. And so you have, obviously, we're talking flights right now, but you also have hotels and cars that are also on your website.
That is correct. So usually people start with the flight. That's the biggest cost usually. So it's that deciding factor. So they go, they see, okay, what are the flights available? And then it's a little bit longer down the lane when they book the hotel. And the last thing that usually people book is the car rental.
Okay. Well, you also, I think you said you had a couple of tips and tricks for people to certain days to fly or certain days to book. Give us, as we kind of wrap up with you, give us a couple of more tips for money saving.
Yeah, so Wednesdays are usually the dates that are the flight fares are cheaper. So you can search any other day, but if you are willing to fly midweek, Wednesday is usually the date to fly in and out for that best value. Then also, if you don't know where to go and you need a little bit of inspiration, we have the Everywhere search. So you can select your city of origin, and we will give you a list of international and domestic destinations. And what we strongly recommend is that you set up some price alerts to those flights that you have selected. And in those price alerts, you will receive then a notification whenever those flights that you have selected go down in price. So you can have that ease and that peace of mind that what you're using is not, that what you're paying is not overpriced, or it's not going to go down.
Yeah. We actually, one of our favorite people here, literally she'll book her flight like 3 months ahead of time, and then she'll check every time it drops. She calls the airline and say, I want that new price, and they give it to her.
Yeah.
Lourdes, thank you. A lot of good info on there. We'll have to go check out Skyscanner.
Thank you, Lourdes.
All right. So
Thank you for having me.
This story, by the way, have you found fares lately cheaper or more expensive? To me, they seem like they're going up.
It does seem like they're going up. I will say, though, I did call an airline once, and they credited me back about $300 per ticket.
Oh.
And it was me and my husband and the kids.
Fare dropped?
Because the fare dropped.
Yeah,
so you should make sure you call them and double check, and just sporadically, especially if you book way ahead of time.
Right.
Because they'll likely give you at least a credit.
And you know what? With every subscription, call in every so often.
Yeah.
What was the one that there's like I think it was the Wall Street Journal, where I got a bundle, and it was for like $2 a week or something. Then I forgot that after a few months it was going to go up, and all of a sudden I see a charge on my credit card for $25. So they get you in on the low rates, but you got to watch it constantly.
Look at you watching the bottom line on that credit card.
Celeste.
Nobody's pulling the wool over Ron's eyes.
Okay, so one quick story on that. My little splurge every once in a while is to go to the DQ and get a dipped cone.
Yes.
And the lady, I was handing her my credit card, she said $6.17
on one dipped cone. Wow.
And I didn't want to start a fight about it.
Wrong.
I mean, not a fight, but just making a point about it.
Yes.
And so I simply asked for the receipt. And so as I drove away, if it was really going to be $6, I just was not going to go to that DQ anymore. $6 is I know it's inflation, but it's too much. Anyway, as I drove away, I looked at the receipt, and it was $5.17, meaning it was like $4.69 plus the tax.
Did you get a large dip cone?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that's a lot of money, though.
But so you get the small for like $3.99, the medium for $4.49, or the large for $4.89. I mean, you might.
I do the kids dip cone.
There's a value. Oh, do you now? Good.
And sometimes, depending on who's working the machine, they'll turn it into a smaller medium if you smile bright, Ron.
Look, Lourdes had some money-saving options, but this gal right here, she'll walk you through some every day. It's got to be our new Celeste segment.
Saving you money.
Correct.
Yes.
The bottom line. She already has the balancing act. Next is going to be the bottom line with Celeste. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this whole story about Greenland. I'm fascinating. We have never had a poll question that got more reaction than the one about Greenland. And over 25,000 people voted. Just amazing. Anyway, the head of NATO says there's still no agreement. President Trump says, look, we're going to be investing billions into our bases, into the Golden Dome, into new military strategies. We feel like those tiny, it's bigger than Texas.
Yeah.
Greenland's bigger than Texas.
It is.
We feel like something about the size of a city. I'm kind of guessing what he's saying, but we got to have that be American land. That's got to be U.S. land if we're going to invest billions. And so that's apparently what the whole squabble's about. And I do believe the White House is going to hold firm on that. But Denmark is like, no, we don't want it. So who knows? Maybe that'll be a future poll question. But speaking of poll questions, Celeste.
Yes, Ron.
Here we go. The government is facing the possibility of another shutdown. There are several Democrats who are saying they are not going to vote to keep the government open unless they get some funding cuts to ICE because of this, most recently, this really troubling video coming out of Minneapolis. By the way, Kristi Noem was called to the White House yesterday, a 2-hour meeting. And I don't know, they say her job is safe, but she was out there calling the guy a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did look kind of defenseless when he was down on the ground with like 3 guys on top of him, and then they shot him. So, although on the other hand, you do hear people say, why purposely go to a protest armed? That could escalate really quickly. But anyway, here we go, Celeste. How's it looking on the poll?
So on the poll question of the day, government may shut down over arguments on ICE DHS funding. What are your thoughts on this? 21% say good, shut it down until ICE gets its funds cut back. 72% say bad, no more government shutdowns over anything. And 7% of you say, I favor cutting back funds for ICE, but don't want a shutdown.
Hold on to your hats, everybody. 30 seconds from now, Big D joins.
Big D.
We're well over 1,000 votes, and here's how it looks on YouTube. The number's a bit different. 36% are saying good, shut it down till ICE gets its funds cut back. 42% say this is bad, no more government shutdowns over anything. Squabble over your politics, but still run your government. We, the taxpayers, kind of demand it.
We the people.
We, the people. Or 21% say, look, I actually favor cutting back funds for ICE, but I don't want to shut down.
This is both platforms.
Big D.
Both platforms are saying bad. They're in a kind of agreement, right?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of comments on this one. Definitely on all sides, but they are agreeing. Carol E7Q says, I have to wonder if under the Biden administration, conservatives went to all the places that illegals were crossing and behaved this way. What would the Democrats have done? Johnny Brady 2002 says the current gossip is that the ICE budget will be considered separately so the rest of the budget can be passed. I do hope they're defunded, but Border Patrol is increased. Assertix 357 says, I'm all for another government shutdown. The last one showed everyone just how little the government is actually needed. And finally, Bill Moretz 8718 says the big beautiful bill gave ICE funding through 2029, but a shutdown will affect government assistance programs, air travel, military pay, etc., and Democrats might have to fold again, making Trump stronger. Where is the logic in this? We love hearing from you guys. Opinions in all sides. Keep them coming.
You know what I liked about that last comment is that he or she was thinking through like 4 steps ahead.
Yeah.
To how it would all play out and how people could get hurt. And politically, why'd we do it last time? Honestly,
don't you wish the lawmakers would think like that 4 steps ahead? Okay, let's be logical here. I will say on a totally different note, we love, Ron and I were chatting about this offline yesterday. We love Dave's laugh.
Yeah, we do.
And so when
it's that one right there. Mystery. Oh, no, not mystery cam. Break time. Back in a flash. Hey, everybody. Ron and Celeste and Fox 10 Talks and you guys. Hanging out with you. Love Darla's comment a minute ago where she's like, oh, wait a sec. I just realized I'm like 10 minutes behind everybody because I was on a phone call. That's the thing with the video. If you loved a segment, you can go back right now and watch it like 20 minutes ago.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So great. And Ron and I were just chatting about that image. It's like so many parts of the country are covered in snow and cloudy conditions. But the capital, we believe it's the capital off in the distance on the right. Yeah. It's just so beautiful. You know, we have all kinds of, every city, right? Every state has its own unique capital.
Yes.
And that's really beautiful.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Dino just revealed it. And he says it's Salina, Ohio.
Oh, is that? Oh,
Ohio.
And Halakita said Ohio.
Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Okay, well, now you know it's Ohio, and pretty much the whole state is in the midst of all that snow. Still not a lot of action going on in that town or any others that really got hit hard. You don't have to go very far from Ohio down into Kentucky and then Tennessee. I mean, the ice is causing so many problems, and I'm not talking about the other ice. I'm talking about the ice that's a half an inch thick on every tree limb within miles. Okay, so, Celeste, there couldn't be a more timely segment than what we're about to do right now with Fran Berrick. She's with Spearmint Coaching.
Okay.
And we are looking, it's a new year, maybe a new you, maybe a new job, but it's a little bit of a tough job market. I think we can learn a lot.
I think so. And Fran, thank you for your time this morning. We so appreciate it. And we've been looking forward to this. Where do we begin when we're thinking about, as Ron mentioned, new year, and I'm thinking of a career change. What's the first thing we should be looking at?
Right. Well, first of all, the new year is like a reset, professional reset button for so many people, Celeste, right? We've just spent time at the holidays with family, have a new perspective, and there's this great collective energy around resolutions that makes it all kind of feel possible. Also, I work with a lot of clients who've just had their year-end reviews or bonuses that perhaps they weren't so satisfied with, and that kind of crystallizes a lot of sort of introspective energy into what they may do next.
All right, so let's get into the practical aspects of it. 1.2 million people in tech were laid off last year. Just yesterday, we had a story that Amazon said they're moving forward with their plans they already cut 14,000 jobs last year. This year, their goal is to ultimately cut 30,000 jobs. And they even said it's because of AI in large part. How do you go out and win this battle? Get out there where you know there's maybe more competition in a lot of those kinds of fields than ever before, and yet really stand out.
Well, here, I think that this is a very, in what you've just shared with me, this is a very straightforward process. With clients who are in this sort of position, I'm all about sort of setting very smart goals. When I say smart, I mean specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time sensitive, and then creating really strong, concise marketing materials, a resume and LinkedIn that will give them confidence and clarity to support those goals. Once you have all those systems, like that strong foundation in place, you can build a lot of early momentum. And I find it gives people a tremendous amount of confidence. And then once you start deploying, I'm a big cheerleader in celebrating every little win, every great interview, every great networking conversation, keeping track of all of that. And I can't stress it enough. If you are in that position where you have to, push forward strong, try to do the things that fill you up. As I always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's important to kind of to recharge, to avoid that kind of, career surge burnout.
Fran, I'm a big believer in constantly learning. That's the one thing I love about this job. Don't you think, Ron? We're constantly learning, like from people like you. Yeah. You mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn does have courses. They have courses in Excel or Word or leadership. Yes. When you take those courses, should those be included in like your LinkedIn quote unquote resume? And how do you use those things that you've done above and beyond your current job and those skills as a selling point for that new gig?
Celeste, I love that question. Okay, I am all about if you have an area of interest, formalizing it with whether it's LinkedIn, Coursera, there are a myriad of online courses that you could take to formalize an interest in project management, in any area that will kind of add to your wheelhouse. You can add the badge with certification right on LinkedIn. LinkedIn makes it super easy. But for example, when I've taken any kind of the assessments or tools that I use, I get my accreditation button and I edit to that part of LinkedIn. It's really super easy to do. Can I share a quick little story?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go for it.
Client who after doing a career audit decided that he really needed visibility and quite frankly the benefits to, this was kind of mid-COVID, and decided he had to stay put and to enrich his professional life in an area he was specifically interested. He was a fashion guy. He had been there for 20 some odd years. And one of his areas of real interest was fashion sustainability. And he took a year-long course. He was running a real long race in that area from an accredited university, and made a determination that he would focus his networking, a great network, but not in this one area. And after formalizing, his credentials, working those bona fides and his network, he landed his dream job 18 months later. It's a natural evolution of like what you said, like pursuing, this is an area of interest for me. Because the other thing is sometimes when people do that, they find that, this doesn't interest me as much as I thought. And that's fine too. You can be flexible in your goals. I always say to clients, we have presumed goals and you have the right to change your mind at any time based on real time, information that you're getting.
And I think what you mentioned too is quite important. It's he couldn't, in the example with your client, he couldn't leave his job because he needed the benefits. But that doesn't mean that we stop growing or learning or evolving. And I think that is also maybe right now somebody can't leave their job, right? Because they got to put food on the table for the family. But there are things that we can do other than maybe the LinkedIn stuff. What are some tips you can give us on networking with people?
Right. Yeah. I think networking should come out of a genuine place of curiosity, right? To me, it's about meeting interesting people who you share a common, whether it's a professional or a personal interest, and kind of always growing that network. I think consistency beats intensity every single time. So if you can add to your, if you're constantly, on the lookout for new and different people to meet and building your circle with coffee chats, Zoom calls, other joint activities, I think that constant, steady diet will help grow your network naturally and organically. So you're never in a position where, I've started with clients who, when I put them up on LinkedIn, have 4 or 5 contacts. We don't want to go there. We want to start building slowly and surely.
Great ideas, Fran. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
And you can connect with Fran at Spearmint Coaching. That's Spearmint Coaching. Fran, thanks. Hopefully we can chat again.
Thank you.
Okay. Celeste, we are now going to look live at the Cardinals Stadium. Are we on the verge of an announcement soon for a new head coach for the Arizona Cardinals?
Yes.
Here's what we're learning. Ian Rappaport with ESPN, he's as plugged in as anybody.
He is.
Reporting that Mike LaFleur is going to have another convo with the Cardinals today. He is the offensive coordinator with the LA Rams. Seattle has maybe the best defense in the league, and the Rams put up almost or right around 400 yards on Sunday against the Seahawks. That offense is humming. And can you imagine LaFleur bringing it here?
That would be amazing. The offense, too, I feel like the LA Rams with that head coach, the young guy. What's his name, Ron?
Of who now?
The head coach of LA Rams.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's Sean McVay.
Sean McVay, thank you. Yep. When he first went there, he surrounded himself with some amazing people. He's a super smart guy. So the fact that he's brought this guy in and the LA Rams made it as far as they did tells you that the guy knows what he's doing.
And by the way, it runs in the family because his older brother is Matt LaFleur, who is the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
Wow. Can you imagine?
Brother versus brother.
Oh,
Okay, well, anyway, they had dinner last night, according to Ian Rappaport.
You think they had like fish and chips, or what do you think they had? Pete's fish and chips.
Yeah, I'm hoping they went to Mod Pizza, because I've been thinking about Mod lately.
Or Blaze.
You choose the toppings.
It's the best.
You know, I mean, you got Mike in town.
And the crust.
Anyway, all right, so I'm kind of pumped about that one, and it's just time. It is time for the Cardinals to announce who is going to, run the show.
Ron, do you want to talk about the Super Bowl?
No, I actually wanted to talk about pasta.
Well, maybe you're going to have pasta on Super Bowl.
Yeah, if we don't get this pasta story in today, Celeste, it's going to be too late. So
yeah, it will be.
Let's just roll.
Let's just say this pasta is going to defrost if we don't get to it soon enough. The story's going to defrost.
I think maybe we don't have it anyway.
Oh.
I'm just looking at all of our VOs here. I don't think we have the pasta.
Well, let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
All right. So the Super Bowl, unfortunately, it's going to cost you a little bit more this year. So it says, I'll just mention one more little quick statement, Ron, then let's get to the pasta. It's going to cost you about $140 to feed 10 people for the big game. That's a little bit more than normal. So maybe you have like a big potluck.
You know what? Just go get those $7.45 pizzas from Little Caesars.
And
you can get 5 of them for like $40.
Maybe buy the wings in the frozen section, throw them in the oven, and then you toss them with some delicious sauce.
Speaking of food, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting 2 days to run it. Video from a guy in Michigan shows frozen food. The noodles cooled so fast the fork was stuck in the air. This needs to be a permanent piece of art in some museum in Michigan. Henry Ford Museum people. Call this guy up.
Yeah, put it right next to the chair that Abraham Lincoln was sitting in.
Yeah, there's that as a possibility.
So weird.
Okay, let's. Anyway, temperatures were dropping, and so hot meals became cold meals. Why? Because literally thousands of people still don't have power, and that is a bad situation. But you ever been in a house with in a cold place with no power, with no heat? I was in my college days once.
Yeah.
I literally had to sleep in like 2 sweatshirts and a coat on this couch. It was during my party days. We stayed too late.
You were couch surfing, Ron.
And I had to work the next morning at the radio station. I'm like, I'll just crash on your couch.
Never done that.
I've ever been in my life.
But I have been in a house with no power in the middle of summer in Arizona, and that was not fun in those microbursts. But crazy. Yeah, well, what a wild sight. Thank you all for watching this morning on a Tuesday. I think it's been pretty productive, Ron.
Oh, this has been the most productive show.
Yet,
at least
today.
In this week, let's say.
In the last hour.
Compared to yesterday.
Have a great day.
Bye.
It's time.
It is time.
Hi, it's warm in here. But don't tell anybody that. I'm not complaining.
Why?
Because then people turn AC on, and I don't want the AC
it's
on.
either freezing cold in here or stifling hot.
It's not stifling.
I feel okay today.
Hold on, look, help. It's not stifling, but I don't need a sweater.
There you go. We're talking about the cold weather because guess what? This is really fun.
Oh, it is fun. Believe it or not, we do need snowplows in the state of Arizona.
We do indeed, especially up in those higher elevations. And this is so much fun because ADOT has been doing this for a couple years now. The Name the Snowplow contest.
You came up with one earlier.
What was it?
Titanic,
but with the TY. But we were trying to figure out, because iceberg, I don't know.
I see where you were going with it. It's like this big machine.
Yes.
And
so we have Kelsey here with Arizona Department of Transportation. Thanks for coming in.
Of course.
And how many years have you guys been doing this now?
This is the 4th year that we've done the contest.
So successful.
Yeah.
When you started, how many entries, and then how many last year?
Well, last year, I remember we got over 2,000 off the top of my head. I can't remember what it was the first year, but it was over 2,000 last year. And it's really exciting for us to see that engagement year after year.
It must be so exciting. But let's talk about how you guys then pick a winner, because as you mentioned, 2,000 entries, and I'm sure some of these are very creative. How do you guys whittle down the winners?
Yeah, so currently the submission phase is open right now. So if you have an idea for a snowplow name, you can go to azdot.gov/name a plow and submit it there.
Or they could submit right now. Well, they're not technically submitting, but if you have an idea, we would love to hear your idea for one of those snowplows.
And then go submit it.
Yes. And claim it and then submit it.
Yeah.
But literally these names are permanently on the side of a snowplow.
Yeah. So like Ty was mentioning, once we get all of those entries, we'll go through and we look for, all of the created names, and we whittle it down to about 12 to 15 finalists, and then we let the public vote on those finalists. So whichever names, the 4 names that get the most votes are the ones that are applied to the side of the snowplow.
Blizzard of Oz.
That one says, what is that? Plowosaurus Rex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are hilarious. Are you kind of sometimes blown away by the creativity of some of our Arizonans here?
Dog.
Yeah, absolutely. And we run this contest year after year because we want to, one, highlight the work that our snowplow operators do, but also, offer safe driving tips for people who may not be familiar or are not completely sure what to do if they encounter a snowplow.
Sure.
So, if you see Scoop Dog or Plowosaurus Rex on our highways, make sure that you stay at least 4 car lengths behind that plow. Don't tailgate it and don't attempt to pass it. These plows are massive, obviously. And, that plow is there to do a job, and that is to clear the road of ice and snow up ahead and make your commute safer.
Sure. Okay, we have a name. We have an idea. Olaf the Snowman Saver.
There you go.
If you have ideas, azdot.gov/name a plow.
I have a question with the rules. If you're 10 miles into following a snowplow and you're on one of those 2-lane highways where there is no end in sight, you just don't pass them.
Don't pass the plow.
What happens?
You don't want to go around.
Well, what happens if you pass the plow?
The plow is there to help, clear the road of ice and snow up ahead. And so the safest place to be in a winter storm, if you are not, at home, is behind that snowplow, a safe distance behind that snowplow.
We have another idea. This is cute. Bully dozer.
That's another.
That's really cute.
Go submit it.
I will say, I think it was a couple of years ago. There were a couple entries that were a play on Corey McCluskey's name. It was Corey McCluskey.
Oh.
So we several years ago we did have a couple of submissions that were a play on his name.
I do remember also. I was out there with you guys a couple of years ago, and Alice Scooper.
Yes, Alice Scooper.
Was a winner, and it was cute.
Winners.
Yeah.
I love that. How many snowplows? You said there's going to be 4 new names this year?
Yes.
And then how many have we named so far?
We've named several, at least a dozen or so.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, I think it was like 4 every year.
We've done 3. We did 3 the first year, 3 the second year, and then 6 last year.
Oh, wow.
So, and then we're doing 4 this year.
Now, once you get, does the winner get to know that they are the winner, or do you just kind of announce?
Do they get to ride in their snowplow? Do they get to drive their snowplow?
They get bragging rights. On the form, if you go to azdot.gov/name a plow, there's an option to include your name and email address.
Nice.
So if that person's name does happen to be one of the winners, they will be notified.
There's another one.
Oh, okay, go on.
You read it.
I don't see it.
Pushover.
Push. That's a good one. I love these.
These are fun.
I think people are so creative when it comes to this. I just get the biggest kick out of you guys doing this every single year. And I know that other cities have done this too. What is kind of your reaction when you start to see these submissions come in? It must be kind of exciting for you guys at ADOT.
It is a lot of fun to see the interaction and to see people's ideas. Sometimes we get, repeat submissions, which is totally fine with us. But, it is good to see that people are engaging with the contest and hopefully also getting some safe driving tips out of alongside that.
So are you naming brand new snowplows, or are we taking 6 out of the fleet? Yeah, unnamed ones.
They're unnamed snowplows that are a part of our fleet up in northern Arizona.
Okay. Nice.
They're really nice if you've ever been up there.
I was going to ask you, do you guys, you probably are not allowed to submit, or are you?
ADOT employees are not.
No. I was going to say, do you have any ideas? Have you kind of noodled this around since you've been talking about this for the past couple of years?
I can tell you some of my favorites from previous years. We mentioned Alice Scooper.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple plows that we named out in the Mesa Maintenance Yard a couple of years ago, and those names are Fast and Furious, Scoopacabra, which is a play on the Chupacabra, and then also Snow-Obi-Wan Kenobi. So for any Star Wars fans out there.
Are they renamed every year? No. Once they get their name, they keep their name.
Yes. Once the plows are named, they keep that name until that plow is no longer in service.
Do they have the same driver? So like the driver
always
bonds with, what is it, Control, Alt, Delete?
I do believe they all have specific drivers.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. All right, someone's asking how to submit again. So say the web address. And maybe Dave can put it in the chat too.
Yeah, it's azdot.gov/name-a-plow.
Name a plow.
And
all right.
submissions are open from now through February 2nd.
Okay, so you'll be back when you guys name the winner, February 2nd or 3rd?
Send us an email.
All right.
I'm going to put you in the calendar now, girl.
We're booking you now.
What day do you want to come on?
Anytime.
You just let us know. That'll be fine. We need to think of some fun names.
Now I've got I'm trying to think of some good ones.
Can you use AI?
No.
I would say don't do it.
I would rather not.
Okay. See? Well, people are talking about that in the chat, how AI is taking over everything.
But use your imagination, right? We never use our imagination enough, so this will be fun.
Use your skills.
Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for coming on. It was great. Oh, yeah, he put it in the chat. So there's the web address. So if you guys want to go, submit your idea. And if you're the winner, wouldn't that be cool if we found a winner that was one of our AZA, what is this called? Foxton Talks chatters, talkers. I'm on too many shows and not a lot of cough medicine, so I apologize.
Thank you, Kelsey. We appreciate it.
Good to see you too.
Gosh, okay. What else do you want to talk about? TSA, or do you want to talk about germs?
Let's talk about TSA because there are some changes. And you did a story not too long ago with TSA, right?
Yeah. So the Real ID was postponed until April of last year, and then they finally said, "Hey, everybody needs a Real ID." And then there was some leniency, and you can go to the airport. And now, starting February 1st, so really just right around the corner, you will be paying $45 if you don't have a Real ID or an acceptable form of ID. So global entry, passport card. If you don't, or military card, military ID. If you don't have one of those, you will pay $45. So you're going to have to this isn't like you go up to TSA and you say, "Here you go." You're going to have to get out of line.
Basically like an appointment.
You're going to have to get on the website. You're going to have to put in all of your information. They're going to get you, then they send you an email. Then you get to show that to TSA. The $45 is for 10 days. So you want to play it? Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hey, there's another way, but you're going to have to pay. So I want to introduce you to our new friend, Daniel. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So last May, after many years of discussion, we were finally able to implement the Real ID. What happens in February?
So starting February 1st, passengers who come to the travel document checker, they don't have an acceptable form of ID. They're going to have to pay a $45 fee so that we can verify their identity. Now, an acceptable form of ID can be a Real ID, but it can also be a U.S. passport, a passport card. If you have global entry, there's a list of different types of acceptable forms of ID that we have on TSA.gov.
You mentioned, and I thought this was interesting, you said about 91% of people who travel through Sky Harbor have an acceptable form of ID, not necessarily the Real ID. So that leaves us with, let's say, roughly under 10% people who don't. Why is it so important to have this acceptable form of ID? And I mean, we can't really ask why people don't have them, but they don't. So you guys have to really check.
Yeah, I mean, it's important because TSA Confirm ID is the next phase of Real ID. We're trying to make sure that when people get on that aircraft, they are who they say they are. So we have to confirm everybody's identity. It doesn't matter who you are. We got to know who you are before you get on that aircraft.
If you don't have one of those acceptable forms or that Real ID, it does take a TSA officer a little longer to verify who you are.
Yeah, and the process is going to determine whether or not you went online prior to coming to the airport and paying that $45 fee. If you did that and you come to the travel document checker, it could take 10 to 15 more minutes.
Okay.
If you don't, you get here and you'll have to step out of line, and then you're going to have to go online to tsa.gov, TSA Confirm ID, pay for it, show the officer the receipt, and then they'll start the verification.
But even now, leading up to February, it does take a little longer to verify without the proper forms. So that $45 I was asking, round trip to, let's say, Chicago, and we're going to go for 9 days. Do I have to pay $45 that way and $45 coming back?
As long as you're 10 days or less, you are good to go. Anything over 10 days, you'll have to pay the fee going out and then coming back again.
Okay, so it's like a little QR code or a little receipt. So in addition to your ID, you have to say, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. You'll show the receipt, and then you'll start the verification process where you'll have to answer some questions. And then our TSO, Transportation Security Officer, will then go through that process. And once we confirm you are who you say you are, you're good to go, and you're on your flight.
Good to go. About 30 seconds, and I thought this was very interesting. TSA has this display right outside the terminal. What are these items?
So these are prohibited items that are not allowed in the cabin of the aircraft.
Okay.
These items are surrendered to us by passengers who want to continue onto their flight. We give the passengers options when we detect certain types of prohibited items. Unless it's a firearm, then we call local police and then they handle it. But as far as these other items, these are items that people surrender to us because they want to catch their flight.
Yeah, you don't want to miss the flight. It's not worth it, right? You can check these items downstairs in the bag. You cannot carry them onto the plane.
Correct. The majority of things that we detect when we're doing security screening for carry-on bags can be put into your check bag. There's a few that can't go in either, but the majority of those items could still go in your check bag.
We're going to put all the information on our website, you guys, for the Real ID as well as these items, because if you ever have any question about it, you don't want to delay yourself. You want to know what you can and can't take on and what's going to get you on that plane.
All right,
Okay.
some good info there, right?
So there you go. You have a couple of weeks to get on board with everything.
Yeah. We've got just 15 seconds left. Some of these things you guys are coming up with are cracking me up. Darren Lloyd says Snotorious B.I.G.
I like that.
That's hilarious.
Submit,
Hold
Darren.
on, there was one more. Hold on. Ron Snow Scooper.
That's
Pretty
good. Yeah.
Keep them coming. All right, much more ahead.
Snow Furious. And we're back.
Okay, so today is National Planification Day.
I'm already planning and plotting my next.
Oh, are you? Mm-hmm. That was our poll question today too. So we're asking you, like, what would people want to splurge on?
Other than the vacation.
Other than the vacation. And I think our choices were if you wanted to upgrade yourself to first class, a nicer hotel room, excursions, food, and then there was one more. Souvenirs.
Like if you go to Paris and then you buy a Chanel bag.
That seems like more than a souvenir.
Or you go to Hawaii and you buy like a couple of jars of macadamia nuts.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Like you splurge.
So we're talking about vacation. So we thought Josh would be great to come in. And I always get your title wrong. You work for the Arizona office, not department, office of tourism.
One of the very few in the state.
We're both looking at you like Arizona.
See, I always say department, but it's
right.
Arizona Office of Tourism.
Yes.
You have, like, I think one of the coolest jobs because you get to promote tourism here in Arizona.
You get to brag about Arizona.
But you also get to see cool stuff.
Where you can vacation. Totally. You don't even have to leave the state to go on vacation.
I mean, when you know as many cool places in Arizona as I get to working in this job, I mean, really, like, I almost feel guilty whenever I go outside of Arizona because there are so many places and we live in such a truly diverse state. And, you know, shout out to the last guest from ADOT who is making the highways accessible because we love them. Yes, we love them because you can't take a road trip in Arizona without a clear, nice road.
That is very true.
You want to talk a little about breakdown with this National Plan Your Vacation Day?
So National Plan for Vacation Day is definitely an internet holiday that was thought of by the tourism industry, but there's a reason for that. And number one is people on average leave about a third of their vacation days.
Can you believe that?
On the table every year.
We were talking about this yesterday. I'm kind of one of them.
Yeah, she never takes vacation.
Right, and when you never take vacation, like I know most places you can build up some, but eventually you start losing it. And so, of course, we don't want that to happen.
Josh, I milk it for every hour that I can.
Good for you. That's what you're supposed
learning.
to do. That's what you're supposed to do. And the second reason really is that the tourism industry always does polls about sentiment, right? How people are feeling about traveling and stuff. And one of the things that they say is 75% of people say they are either happy or extremely happy when they have a trip planned.
Oh yeah, that's all you.
Forward to it.
Well, I love looking for the deal, right? But then also, like, we'll sit down and we'll be like, well, we're planning what we're going to do every single day and minute.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's like you can veer off of that plan, but it's so much fun to sit down and say, well, this is what we're going to do Monday, and this is the hike we're doing Tuesday, and this is what we want to see.
For sure. And so they said, okay, well, let's help everybody be a planner. If you plan a trip in January, you're more likely to take it. And you're giving yourself something to look forward to.
Wait, so if you plan a trip in January for another month, not in to take
it. Yes, it doesn't have to be in January. Just once you have it planned, you are more likely to take it because you've done it early in the year.
Oh, okay.
Because,
so start planning.
Your schedule starts filling up.
Okay.
And so the idea being plan in January, and you will be more likely to actually take that trip.
I like that tip.
Yes.
We already have a question for you in the
I have
chat.
my own question too.
All right.
You will take that one first.
Okay, Darren is asking what your favorite go-to location in AZ is. And then we'll ask Ty. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, so when you are ready to plan a trip, I mean, you obviously are doing this a lot.
Yeah.
How far in advance should you be booking? And there's always these people who are saying that you get better deals if you do it farther out or if you wait for the last minute.
Yeah.
You've done this a lot.
Right.
What is your kind of thinking?
For me, if I'm going to be flying somewhere, I usually start looking at about 6 weeks out. But because nowadays, pricing for airlines especially is so dynamic that it changes based on customer flows, flights booked, demand. So, I feel like the old adage of like booking on a Wednesday or like you do it,
Tuesday, 2:47 a.m. or something I just read. It's like, that's not true because I keep checking.
That's kind of dated now. But what you should do is go to a service that will allow you to track the flight. Price of a flight, and then just tell it to do that for you, and it'll give you a notification. I'm not, saying any one platform, but it'll give you a notification on how that price is trending, and so you can really do the research and see when would be an ideal time for you to book that flight.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do that. But road
you
trips, anytime. I'm ready to go.
Okay,
I'm ready to go
perfect.
this weekend.
Oh, I was going to say, when you travel within the state of Arizona, are you typically driving or flying or both?
So typically driving. I mean, obviously you can fly, but for me, you know, they always say that part of the adventure is getting there.
Yeah.
And I love driving in Arizona, and it sounds like a very tourism thing to say, but I love driving in Arizona because I love seeing like how the state and the terrain changes between places, because that's a question that we get asked as tourism people. You know, it's like, oh, what's this place like, or what's this place like? And so when I drive around, I get a better idea, and I get an idea for what's between places.
Sure.
Right.
That might lead you to your next vacation spot.
A little spot, you know, a little thing, you know, a little roadside thing that you didn't know about. So I always prefer to drive.
More adventure that way. So you wanted to talk about a couple different places and types of vacations and different things that we can do to explore and vacation in Arizona.
Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't come here and not talk about some things to do. And one great idea for this year, and for something you can book sooner rather than later, is dude ranches. And Arizona's great for dude ranches.
Or the spa.
Yeah, because, of course, we have that Western culture. We have lots of ranches that have now been kind of converted into places you can stay. And dude ranches these days, a lot of them look like...
That's a dude ranch?
That's what I'm saying.
No, I was kidding. I thought we were rolling the wrong video. That's why I'm like, we'll go to the spa instead.
Is dude ranches today? I know that there's a perception of them as being like a place where you go to act like a cowboy or act like a ranch hand. But these days, dude ranches are now adding amenities that are just like hotels.
That's
so
cool.
You can still do the horse stuff, you can do rides, but you can also go in a beautiful pool or go in a spa or have, you know, high-end eating. That's the Tank Verde Ranch in Tucson, and that's like you can do that activity right there. You can be guided on a horse ride.
Now, are they expensive, these dude ranches?
So the dude ranch is going to be on the higher end of the trip planning, and you can golf as well. The reason being is that a dude ranch is essentially an all-inclusive experience, and typically you're going for something like 3 to 5 days when you do a dude ranch. So you have multiple days, but everything's included. So your food, your activities, things like that are all included. You know, and I said they've invested money in these places to try to make them compete with hotels or places.
Right? It's almost like a cruise.
It's.
I mean, you've got all your activities and
right
your meals and everything's planned, and you're wow, that's gorgeous.
And you know, it's really for like I feel like one of the big ethoses of Arizona is that you do outdoor activities, right? Like we use our outdoors, we want to go explore them, and a lot of dude ranch activities involve being outside, and you know, even all those people are enjoying a great meal there.
And this is the perfect time of year to do that.
Yes,
too,
exactly.
outdoors,
In the outdoors,
a little toasty.
Yeah, especially because there's a good number of dude ranches in southern Arizona as well. So certainly take the opportunity to get outside and check into a dude ranch. And you know, they don't all have to be 3 to 5 days. You can even do it just for a couple days to check it out. So I think it's great. This picture we're looking at right here is Rancho de los Caballeros, which is in Wickenburg.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right up the road.
That is cool. All right, so the next one. I have wanted to do this for as long as I've lived here. I just can't find the time.
Doesn't it? Doesn't that picture?
Is so
amazing.
Cool. I mean, so my other activity, my summer activity, if you want to plan a little further out, it's going to be river rafting. And this, of course, is the beautiful Colorado River in the Grand Canyon. And there are a number of great outfitters that do rafting trips down the Colorado River, and this is another one where you can choose kind of the amount of days you want to do. So, you know, it could be a couple, or you could do as long as a couple weeks if you really want to kind of mix in the river rafting with the camping on the side of the...
Josh, have you done this yourself?
I have not done the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon. I have done the Salt River, though.
Okay.
Can you just do a weekend?
So you can, yes. It does not have to be a long trip if that's not your thing. You can do just a weekend, too. This is the Verde River right here in central Arizona. And, you know, one that the Verde River is always famous for is the Water to Wine Tour.
Yeah. We talked about
Vineyards.
that.
We talked about that. But the Verde River is a pretty calm river. And so, you know, you can see here there's a young kid rafting it.
He does not have wine.
Yeah, he is not part of the wine tour, but it's beautiful and it's pretty calm. It's a very scenic river. So that one I always kind of recommend is something kind of that you could do as a family, which a lot of people people enjoy doing here as well.
A little cooler as well.
Yeah, it's a little cooler. And
I was going to ask Josh on the Colorado, are there rapids?
Yeah, that's what
yes, there's absolutely rapids. And on the Colorado River, the rating system for rapids actually goes from 1 to 10.
Oh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. And they do that because of how unique the river is and how big the rapids can get.
So what, like you're into the boat and they're yelling 2,
yeah, it's 10. Like everyone's cool on a 2 and then on a 10, it's like you got to hold on and be ready.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
And it's because the river is so rocky through the Grand Canyon that there can be some very crazy created rapids. So you got to watch out for that. And this one right here is actually the Salt River, which is another one that people I don't know if they think of as much. I feel like people think of the Salt River as a tubing river, right? And it's great for that, certainly. But if you go a little higher on the Salt River, you can actually do some great rafting. And again, I would say it's a lesser known but a beautiful canyon that you can go right through as well.
Real quick, how do you find an outfitter?
Yeah.
So an easy
is that
way,
what you call it, an outfitter?
Yeah, that's what I would say is an outfitter. An easy way is self-promotion here. Our website we have some that are linked into. So if you're looking to do a particular type of rafting on a particular river, you can just click into them, or of course just Googling them. I mean they're out there, and there are a lot of people that do it.
What if you can't hike down to the Grand Canyon? Are there outfitters that will take you down?
So that one I am not 100% sure on, but I believe that there are outfitters that will take you to the river, so you don't have to hike to So yes, you can get to the river without having to hike down to it to do a rafting trip. If that's the question.
Darren says water to wine sounds religious. It might be a religious experience. Hallelujah. Who knows?
We got about 90 seconds left, and this is kind of some planning resources.
Yeah. So the last thing. We're National Plan for Vacation Day, and I'm like, hey, we have some great planning resources. One I've already mentioned, which is our website, visitarizona.com. This is actually a picture of our official state travel guide. Oh, cool. And so that is a physical magazine that you can order from our website for free. And it gives you ideas on a bunch of different things to do in Arizona, beautiful pictures as well. And you can go order it, or you can even look at the digital version, which is on our website as well.
Okay, but less than a minute. Do you want to name a favorite place where you would really recommend people go?
We had forgotten about that one.
I think you're trying to get away from that.
I know it's hard. It's hard.
Leave it
it's
entirely
like picking
behind.
a favorite host.
I could never imagine doing that. But the one that I actually really like, which I put it in here, was the Salt River Canyon, just kind of east of the valley. And I like it because it's close and it's still a canyon, and it's very breathtaking, and it has those like red rocks, but it also has animals you can see, and has some green trees. And there's actually a dude ranch right there that's called the Saguaro Lake Ranch, which is another one that's very awesome to go do. But I love it because you can even just drive through the Salt River Canyon, so you don't actually have to do a raft there.
We got to go.
Bye, guys.
Right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Happy National Vacation.
sure enough, here we go at 11:30. Yet another berg in America, covered in snow. And this one, I'm just going to open up the text from Dean Fazzini and see. Oh my gosh, really? This is Fredericksburg, Virginia. So I want to say the book, I believe the book that I read about the Battle of Fredericksburg in the Civil War was called Gods and Generals. And they made a movie out of it too. It was really something. But man, that is a battle worth reading up on. I think we had for the Union maybe one of the dumbest generals we ever had.
Oh, really?
I mean, he just sent his men into slaughter. They did not have the high ground. They had the low ground, and they had to march across this field, and they were mowed down by the Confederates who were hiding behind a stone wall. And the stone wall is still there. And part of the field is still there. Oh. And I mean, you can hardly read the book or watch the movie without like coming to tears over the senseless slaughter that was going on that day at the Battle of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Anyway, I think it was December the 13th, 1862, if I recall. Anyway, on a much better note, it's Ron and Des, and how's your morning been going?
Good.
Yeah?
Busy. How about yours?
Super. I went with today with a kind of a basic male white shirt, skinny red tie.
I love it. Maroon.
What did you opt for?
I went with the tube of mustard. I asked you this morning. I was like, wait, I thought this color was great. And then I don't know. And then I was like, wait, do I look like a jar of mustard?
When did you start thinking that? As you were driving into work or when you got here or?
No, when I got here. Because when we're reading or, when we're on the newscast, we see the prompter with the words. And then, out of your peripheral, you can kind of see like your two-shot. And all I kept seeing was like the yellow screaming at me. And I go, oh gosh, is it screaming at everyone else? But now I'm like, oh no, it's okay.
It looks great.
Okay. And Simone said she liked it too. So shout out to my girl, Simone.
Oh,
she
nice,
said this
Simone.
morning she liked it.
But you even asked people on social, do I look like...
It got the thumbs up. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. But I actually wore this dress when my husband got inducted into the Hall of Fame. At Toledo.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, and he wore a dark green suit, so it looked really good together.
Oh, nice.
And I was pregnant with D3 at the time, so I had a little belly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Good.
We'll keep it.
The Toledo Zips, right? Are they the Zips?
Rockets.
Oh, the Rockets. Who are the Zips?
Rockets.
Oh, Akron is the Zips.
Are they?
I believe.
Okay. Yeah, nope. He's a Rocket, baby.
Yeah, that is so cool that he's in their Hall of Fame forever.
Yeah.
It's 11:33. One of our big stories this morning is the annual point-in-time count. That they want to get out there so early in the morning before the homeless population is up and at them and moving around to a point where they can actually get out there, interact, and come up with some numbers to gauge how we're doing.
Yeah, we spoke with a New Leaf yesterday, and they said it's critical that they do this count in order to know where they need more resources, where they need more funding, where it needs to go. So it's vital to the work that they do.
And here's what our Danielle Miller reported on a little earlier this morning.
Yeah, good morning. We're here at Steele Indian School Park where volunteers here and members of the community joined about an hour ago. So they've been kind of combing this area, looking here. But this is just one group in particular. There are going to be dozens of groups all throughout Maricopa County doing this exact count. A very important day here because a lot of the data and things collected here goes to the federal government. That way we can get some funding as well as to the state and local governments as well, just to kind of get an eye on the homeless population here in the Valley, what resources are needed, how we can help reduce people facing homelessness. So we do have a lot of volunteers out here today. This is typically just this one-day annual count where they're walking around, they're making a head count here, but they're also really focusing this year on the youth, the 18 to 24-year-olds in particular. So once again, this was typically just a one-day count, but now they're extending it all the way to February 14th. The reason for that is to be able to get a better idea on the youth facing homelessness here. We spoke to one of the volunteers here this morning. Take a listen.
see a different type of situation when it comes to homelessness for that subpopulation of youth. So this is an effort to better understand what their needs are, really be able to count them.
And once again, that count is specifically going to go until February 13th, just to get a better idea of that number.
So there's Danielle reporting for us. Let me just get my microphone up a little bit there. Annual count. And last year and the year before that, we were dealing with the zone over there between downtown and the state capitol, and it was a disaster. I mean, there were like groups inside the zone that were acting like they ran it, like it was their own little fiefdom. And the city had to come in, took a lot of police to disperse that area. Speaking of law enforcement, Des, there was an operation that was going on. Whenever these happen, they're a surprise. It's not like they pre-announce them. They just happen. And this was at one of the more popular sports bars in town, and it all unfolded yesterday. Zips has more than a dozen locations around the valley, and they said they served 15 search warrants across the city, really across the entire metro area, 14 Zips location, and then there's one other location, whether that was their headquarters or what, I'm not quite sure. The other one is Goldie's, the sports cafe, so a total of 15. That's why they served all those warrants. Customers were saying to Fox 10 that they were told they needed to leave right in the middle of the meal because this is a federal operation and we're still trying to confirm that ICE was involved in it. But once the word got out, people were pretty upset about it here. Let me see if I can roll that for you right here.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on you!
So the crowds, once the word got out, then the protesters came out in pretty big numbers. You can see as they were, I believe that's the Park Central location. You could just tell by the buildings around the area just north of downtown Phoenix. But this was different from what they've been experiencing in Minneapolis because they did have the cooperation with local law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And so it's one of those things where in the operation that's been going on in the Twin Cities, no cooperation. And so they also have to, if you have other law enforcement, which MCSO was on the scene of one of the busts.
Yeah, and they did say majority for peacekeeping.
Correct.
Per se, not necessarily a direct involvement with the investigation.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, somebody's got to have their back, I guess you could say, keeping an eye on their safety while they go in to do the task that they have been assigned. So anyway, we're still working to learn a little bit more about the raids. Was that it for this particular operation? But it just brings up the whole issue again, because now at the federal level, because of what happened with the deadly shooting this past weekend, now you had several members of Congress on the Democratic side who say, we're not going to fund the government. We'll go to a shutdown if we can't get funding, not eliminated, but cut back for ICE. And so it's our poll question today. What do you think? 19% say good. Shut it down until ICE gets the funds cut back. 75% say bad. No more government shutdowns over anything. And then 6% say, look, I favor the cutbacks for ICE, but I don't want to see a shutdown.
And there's some talk in the chat, too. Little Philosophy is asking, he wonders what they were rated for in relation to the Zip story that we just ran.
Some of the early reporting that I had seen was possible ID theft.
Yeah, felony violations of federal law in connection to ID theft.
And so on YouTube, are we able to refresh this one, Big D?
I'll do it right now.
Okay. There, last hour we were at 1.3 thousand votes, and Dave's going to update it for us. He can do it on the fly, and you'll see these numbers. Oh, it's frozen. Okay. But anyway, Des, you know, the number's a little bit different. Oh,
yeah,
coming in on 2,000 votes.
Yep, 37% say good, shut it down. 40% say bad, no more government shutdowns over anything. They don't want to see that. 22% say they're in favor of cutting back funds for ICE.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And, you know, you guys are in the chat saying you have lots of good feedback for us on that. And then Dave also looks around, sees lots of comments. It sounds like we're getting a bunch of them, Dave.
Yeah, we've gotten a ton, a couple new ones since the last hour. John Gunther in Sholo says government shutdowns are bad for all of us. Run the government and figure it out. And then ISOID says, why decrease their funding? How about training them to actually be professional so this type of stuff doesn't happen? I get the arguments that blue cities resisting ICE operations causes a lot of these issues, but a professional police force should be able to operate even in those conditions without incidental murder. A lot of really interesting takes here. Keep them up, everybody.
Okay, that's good. By the way, Des, I'm reading comments, you know, up there. We love that we can interact with you guys on the chat. Plenty of comments on this particular topic, but do you see what Darren said up there? So Darren says, you know, you guys, there's a radio station here in Florida where you do a tour bus ride with the radio personalities for a few hours, and I guess maybe give like a tour of the city or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, TMZ has got a bus. We can go hang out with our buddy Eric.
Florida's got a bus.
We might as well create our own bus.
There you go. Dave,
you think that's in the budget?
Can you buy us a bus?
I'll buy 2.
Oh, big ball and Dave. Hang
Dave
on a
is
second.
in so good with the higher ups here. Oh, let me tell you, Des.
Dang, let me start kissing his butt. Hi, Dave. What do you want for lunch tomorrow?
Yeah, whatever you guys want. Say all of
There you go. Okay, so here's what's coming up here in the next few minutes. Since yesterday, you and I were both talking, say we got to get some reports from our friends at Fox Weather of what it's really like in the middle of this deep freeze. And so we're hoping to get some reports from them over the next few days. But the governor's race for governor in Arizona has changed.
Yep.
Tell you what's going on there. Plus, we have plenty of people that live to 100. In the next, say, 50 years, the goal is to start getting people to live to 150. So how do you do that if you want to live that long? We've been digging into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's all coming up. But now,
mystery camp.
Do you feel the mystery camp coming on, Des?
I think so.
Look at that.
Where's the snowy location?
Look at that. Okay. So I think that's Christ on the cross at some location in the snow. I wonder if it's almost like an outdoor church
It looks like
service.
an outdoor church. Yeah.
Yeah, where you can go be in nature for your church instead of in the air conditioning or the heat. That's kind of cool. We'll be right back. I am totally fascinated to find out where this is. I will just say that when I was a little kid in my hometown up in Washington, we had an outdoor Sunday service every year for Easter. And it was just the coolest thing. It was in the mountains up above Wenatchee, where I grew up. And, oh, look, the sun just came out, literally, on the cross. That was kind of cool. And then you had donuts afterwards. And I was like,
anything's
I like
better
this.
with donuts.
I like this whole operation. And so, anyway, I guess we see Tennessee from Brandon.
Mm-hmm. It's a good guess. Darren is trying to throw in Arizona.
Sure, of course.
Tucson.
Frankie D is saying Tennessee. We got Darla with Tennessee, maybe Bama. I mean, they did get plenty of snow in the South.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Des, do you have a guess?
I am going to guess. I don't know. I'll guess Tennessee.
All right. So I think that's probably just about right. So let's see.
Yeah, and
what else
Darla's guessing Tennessee too.
All
So
right. Okay.
Ohio from a little philosophy.
I'll go with Ohio.
Maybe
How
that
about
one's
that?
different.
Just to shake it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then Halakita coming in here with a guess of Michigan.
Okay.
So it is. Wow. All right. Halakita getting that guess in there right on time.
In the last 5
Indian
seconds?
Indian River.
Oh, for goodness sakes. All right. Let's go back to it. We always love to learn right along with you guys here. Let's find out where Indian River, Michigan is. I'm such a big fan of Michigan. Indian River is in Michigan. Oh,
how cold is it there right now? Let's see. It is 13 degrees, roughly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, this is pretty
So, if there's any sort of wind, it's cold. The trees look pretty still, though.
It's out there by Burt Lake. And believe it or not, they have a Miami Beach, Michigan. This is the other one. And then there's a Mullet Lake. We could have all kinds of fun with that. Mullet Lake. What do you got? What's the hairstyle? What's the approved hairstyle? But it looks like it's about a half-hour drive south of the Big Mac Bridge. We've shown that bridge many times there at Mackinac City, going over toward Mackinac Island. All right, so now you know that is really kind of a cool thing. So
yeah, there you go.
Des, we have
I love that. It's just north of Wolverine. There's a Wolverine, Michigan.
Hey, how about that?
Oh, that's cool.
I love this older guy who is going to coach the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, who's that?
It's Kyle Winningham.
Okay.
The winningest coach.
Oh, he's got
ever.
win in his name.
Yeah, there you go.
It's got to be a good omen.
He's he has been the coach forever at Utah, at the University of Utah, and they have a great program, right?
I was going to say how good. Okay.
Yeah. In the Big 12. And so they kind of showed him the door. They had named a new coach in waiting like 3 years ago. And they finally, I think, kind of came to him and said, look, coach in waiting, you agreed. It's been 2 or 3 years.
Like,
What's
let's
going
go.
on here?
Let's make it happen.
How about you walk out that door? I don't know how the combo went, but I do know this.
They slid a number across the table. So how about you walk out the door now?
Here's your exit package. His daughter posted a few days later with a little glimpse behind the curtain in the family. Here, there's our Michigan shot again. And said, I watched my dad give 20 plus years of his life to this university and that football program, and to be treated that way at the end, she said, was not cool. Well, within a week, Michigan had reached out to him. And we all know the situation there with Sharon Moore, who got fired and, got arrested and all of that. And this guy has run a squeaky clean program. He's exactly, I think, who they need. And I'm totally fascinated to see how he does at Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a great story.
We'll watch that unfold.
Speaking of what's unfolding, how about this, ladies and gentlemen? We are shaking up the governor's race in the state of Arizona. We have a former ASU quarterback turned healthcare executive, Hugh Little, is launching a bid as an independent. Because when I first heard, there's going to be another entry, I thought, well, the Democrats have already united around the incumbent, Katie Hobbs, who's been a frequent guest of our program here. And the Republicans, look, they have three very well-known, you have two congressmen and one of the best-known business women in the Valley, Karen Taylor Robson, along with Congressman Andy Biggs and Representative David Schweiker. By the way, Karen, we've been reaching out to her people. She's joining us next Tuesday here on Fox 10 Talks. So anyway, now we have an independent. So this will be interesting. Obviously, this is going to be for the general. The good thing about being an independent, you don't have to spend all your time and all your money on the primary, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're just going to run once you get to the general election. And you know, it looks like a pretty close race among the Republicans.
Mm-hmm. But Little says he's decided to run to try to bridge partisan divides. So try to unite both sides and see what he can get done.
Yes. Okay, so we're following that race, that's for sure. Now, one of the stories here's what happens is we run these interesting stories on Fox 10 TV, and then Des and I start talking about it, and we're like, hey, this would be an interesting story to dig into a little bit more. Mm-hmm. The whole thing about living to 150.
Yeah, well, I just thought it would be cool to be called a centenarian.
Yes. Just to make it to 100. I mean, that's a fantastic goal for any of us, right?
Yeah,
to live to 100.
Be pretty epic. But how about living to 150? Wow. Because health experts believe that could actually be possible.
Okay.
Would you want to live to 150?
I guess if the idea is that you don't really start to, I have seen in a lot of people that I know, mostly family members, you can have a pretty good life through your 80s, and then for whatever reason, around age 90, things just start to kind of break down. But if they can figure out a way that you can still be active and healthy at 100 and 110.
Right. It depends on quality of life.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Like, what am I capable and able of doing at 150?
Yeah. I was just talking to my aunt. We were texting last night. She lives in Maryland, outside of D.C. They watch sometimes, Hank and Willie.
Hey, Hank. Willie?
Yeah, Hank, Willie, if you guys are watching. She is... I don't even know. We both share the same great-grandfathers.
Okay.
So that's how we're connected.
That's how you're,
I think that means maybe second cousins, actually, now that I think about it. But, you just try to... A lot of people in my family have lived to 90 and do pretty well. We were talking about my Aunt Jessie, who lives in Seattle, just gone into assisted living. Renee and I went up to see her over the holidays.
How old is she?
She is happy as can be in her new dig. She's making new friends.
Oh, good.
They got a nice restaurant, a little exercise center.
Right.
They got a bus that takes them to the store.
Tons of activities at those facilities.
Tons of activities.
Okay, how old is she?
She is 91 or 90. Let's see. She's 92 now.
Okay.
She is 92.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Yeah. Well, and I Googled real quick, so they're trying to figure out how to slow the aging process.
Right.
Like, how do we do that? Probably science, right? There's got to be a way.
Right.
But naturally, exercise, it's like, oh, that one's always on the list, right?
Yes, of course.
Healthy diet, always on the list. And quality sleep. That's huge.
Yes.
And I feel like so many of these studies we do.
Okay. I'm looking at your laptop to see,
always comes back to quality of sleep. And, I'm forgetting the gentleman, Dave. Yeah. I don't know if you know him. What is his name? He's done all of the science, he's like a walking science experiment. He's done so much to his body that he's aging in reverse.
He's got like 10 million followers on social.
Yes. Oh my gosh. His name is escaping me right now. Right. But he did an interview out of
Johnson.
What is
Brian Johnson.
Brian, yes.
Brian Johnson.
Out of all the things that he's done, he still says sleep is like a huge factor.
Yeah.
You're still on my shot.
Yeah, you still got Dave on.
Dave says, are you still on my shot? And I'm like, I'm giving the audience what they want, pal.
There you go.
How about that?
That he still says sleep is huge for anti-aging, for your brain health. So I actually found that fascinating.
We had a neurologist on, let me think here, about a month ago. We were chatting with her as we were walking her out. And she said the same thing. She said, of everything for better brain health, exercise is important, diet's important, not smoking, don't drink to excess, all of these things. Sleep is number one. So I also did an Ask AI, Des, and here's a little bit more about what it gave me. It said, look, you don't have to run marathons at 85, but be consistent about daily walking, minimum of 30 minutes a day, and then do a little light strength training, right? Go to the gym a 3 times a week.
Yeah, well, that's good for your bones. Keeping your bone density up and your bones strong and healthy.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Make sure that you are doing a good job of checking your vitals. They said keep your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your cholesterol in check.
And you're really good at that because you are diabetic, so
Correct.
You're constantly checking your numbers.
Yeah, I got a little patch here somewhere that's always reading me my numbers. It says eat like a Mediterranean, not like a modern American. I mean, we all love to hit up the fast food places, let's face
fast food, it's not good.
Olive oil over butter, fish over red meat. You can eat smaller portions, stay lean at 50 plus. You don't need rock hard abs, but the size of your waist matters. In fact, they say research shows that a fit 75-year-old can outlive a sedentary 65-year-old. So if you're moving, okay, sleep, same thing. It's crucial. Let's see what else. Keep your brain busy and curious. Join groups, clubs, etc. Travel, volunteer to teach or just volunteer somewhere. Read constantly. Maintain strong social connections. Regular social interaction in neighborhood groups, church groups, etc. Strong family ties. They say isolation is as bad for you as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
How about that?
Humans need that connection, right?
Yeah,
and that,
right.
I mean, I think we saw that in COVID too.
Yeah.
That we do thrive off of connection and interaction.
And then the one we talked about earlier on the morning show is manage stress. You can't really eliminate it, but do meditation or prayer. Have a better sense of humor. You got to be able to laugh about stuff and quit worrying so much about stuff that you really can't control.
I was stressed yesterday.
You were.
And
That's why.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
We don't got enough time.
Really want to know.
We don't got enough time for that. But the kids, and we're also teaching them to ride their bikes. We're a little late to the game.
Yeah, still. That's good.
So we're getting them on their bikes, and they're so good. First of all, and like just 3-4 times out, they're like little professionals now.
Okay, good.
They were on their bikes, and I was pushing Demi in the stroller. We were out for an hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, we did well over